In this video, I will talk about why The Walking Dead chapter might come sooner than we all thought. I will also discuss potential killers and survivors, so make sure to stick until the end. But before that, if you want to see this cute killer in DBD, then smash that subscribe button and don't forget to like this video to make me smile. Cheese! By the way, in the background it's my first gameplay of Nemesis, that's why it's so bad. And talking of Nemesis, the Resident Evil chapter is the first chapter ever to include AI, and I'm talking about zombies. And yes, zombies, they are very fun, but what comes to your mind when you hear the word zombies? If you asked me this question, the answer would be The Walking Dead. That's because The Walking Dead is all about zombies. Just like Resident Evil is about zombies, and now zombies are there with the Resident Evil chapter. I would love to see The Walking Dead in DBD, and I'm pretty sure there are many players around the world who would love to see the same thing too. But how do we know that The Walking Dead is even a possibility? Well, the first thing I wanna show you is the letter from Leagues by Daylight, who is a popular Dead by Daylight data miner, and he wrote, "The Resident Evil chapter brought a new feature to Dead by Daylight, the AI mechanic which allowed the Nemesis to have a power connected to animated zombies that circle the map." Thanks to an interview granted to Game Rant, the creative director Dave Richard lets us know that Nemesis will not be the only killer to take advantage of this mechanic, but that there will be other killers in the future who will use it, but in totally unique ways, which will differ from how it was to use for the Resident Evil chapter. Like anything we build in Dead by Daylight, we create new tools we can use in the future, said Dave Richard. I do understand that this mechanic doesn't have to be necessarily used for zombies. For example, Dead by Daylight could create a futuristic chapter and they could add something like robots, and it would work perfectly. I'm pretty sure that they will use AI for their original chapters that are upcoming, but talking about licensed chapters, are there any licenses besides Resident Evil and The Walking Dead that have zombies? I can't really tell you that because most of the licenses that are not in Dead by Daylight yet, they don't really have zombies. For example, Annabelle, Chucky, Candyman, Pennywise, you name it, they don't have zombies. But The Walking Dead is the movie, the series, the game, it's all about zombies. Keep in mind that The Walking Dead chapter has been suggested by fans of Dead by Daylight ever since the end of 2016. Back in 2017, the game director of Dead by Daylight told journalists that at that time they were thinking about adding The Walking Dead into the game, but at that time they were not sure if it would work. But since zombies are there with the Resident Evil chapter, those assets are there, those AI mechanics, they are all in place, and I would say this chapter is a success. Zombies work pretty well in this game. Why not to introduce something like that with The Walking Dead chapter? I mean, this Resident Evil chapter, it looks like a test for an even bigger chapter in the future. Now, I'm not sure if the next chapter is gonna be licensed. I bet it won't be licensed. I bet it will be an original chapter. It would be interesting if it was a licensed chapter, but if it's not, then it's not. But I'm talking about the next licensed chapter. It could very well be The Walking Dead. In the latest Dead by Daylight survey, developers asked people which license they would like to see in Dead by Daylight most, and one of the choices was The Walking Dead. It means they considered adding it and they still have it on the list. Now, the biggest question is, since The Walking Dead is such a big franchise, it goes beyond films, beyond comics, and beyond video games, who will be the killer and who will be a survivor? Because there are so many great choices. Now, originally The Walking Dead started with the comics, and later the film followed, and the film just literally had the same characters as comics. Most people would like to see Rick Grimes or Daryl in the game because they are very popular characters from the TV show, and my brother would love to see Daryl, but I see more people talking about Rick Grimes. If it's the chapter from the TV show, then why not to include one of those characters as survivors? Why not to include both of them, or why not to include anybody else from the TV show? Talking about the killer, there are many possibilities. For example, Negan or the governor, which is my favorite killer. But maybe it's not a TV show. For example, I know people who don't like the TV show of The Walking Dead, but they completely love The Walking Dead video game, which I absolutely adore that video game, and I wouldn't mind to see somebody like Lee or, Clementine in Dead by Daylight. But then I'm not really sure about the possible killer. Well, it could very well be a killer with an open face, just like the All Kill chapter had the Trickster. But we will see. It's a very possible scenario that we will get The Walking Dead. Don't mark my words 100% because I don't know the future of Dead by Daylight. I'm very optimistic about this game, of course. I want the best, and I would absolutely love to see any shape or form of The Walking Dead represented in Dead by Daylight. But that's just my opinion. Subscribe if you think I deserved it, like to make me smile, and see you later.